Hello and welcome. These are horse racing selections for Wednesday, the 21st of June, Royal Ascot Day 2. I am Flat Cap Callum and I'm hoping you are all very, very well. Alright, it's a bit of a late upload this evening, depending on when you watch this. If it's in the morning, you won't have a clue. But I was out. I was out on Tuesday all day at Royal Ascot, so back late and back on the research trail. Try and see if I can find some stuff better for Wednesday than we fared on Tuesday. Didn't go so well on Tuesday, so we'll go through that in a minute. And then we'll get on to the staking plan for Wednesday. So just to flag for Wednesday, £40 again. I think it is $22.50 on the single, $17.50 on the multiples. No bonus bet, so just the Ascot plan. There's nothing else. There's a couple of other ones that were a little bit on the marginal side, and it wasn't worth just doing an extra bet for. So I've left them out. So we've just got Royal Ascot Day 2 coming up. So Royal Ascot Day 1, how did we fare? No so good. No so good is how we got on. So for the actual £40 stake, I got it at $17.40 back. It will slightly vary. I think the people that would come out the best probably would have been 365, depending on when you put the bet on. Probably came out a little bit more, about £5 better off than that. There might be a few people that might come off £5 worse off than that. So $17.40 was the channel. There was also the bonus bet, which was £5 on. Some would have just got paid like a refund payment. The channel got paid out in one place for a Sky one, which was £1.32. So no great shakes. So overall, it was a £26 loss. So not a great start to our week, but it is a long way to go. There are 4 rounds in the fight. So I went, I saw, and I got conquered by the bookies on day 1. Last year, Ascot, we won the first 2 days. We lost the last 3. We still won the fight overall. So we are on the back foot, but we are not out of it. So who knows? It can turn, or we might find ourselves in a bit of a situation like we had at Cheltenham, where nothing just quite came off all week long, which was massively frustrating. But I don't know. Let's talk you through it. We had no good. It's never involved. Oh, yeah. I mean, I was going to start that with that. Yeah, that 2:30 race. I mean, you know, it might not be your day when the horse that wins is 33-1 and hasn't run all season. I wouldn't have picked it. That ours was no good. Then that 3:05, I was like, well, this is it. Buy and Bine. Really like that Buy and Bine. No, Buy and Bine and Chief Makato basically had some sort of scrap in the stalls, and they both ended up getting ejected. So they were both non-runners. Buquano Fuerte was a 16-1. I was really surprised about that. So that placed, and then Watch My Tracer was 7th. It was one out the placings if you're on Sky, which would have been all right. So we got 2 refunds and a place. So I was thinking that doesn't really quite feel like it's going to be my day. And then the 340 equilateral paid out for Sky, and 365 as long as you put the bet on before the non-runners came out. And that was a 33-1 SP, but there was 40s available quite widely before then. Then the 420, I went for the 3 outsiders thinking that one of them was probably going to snag a place, and sure enough, Charon went in and did it. 33s was the SP, so that's all I got for my statistics, but it was quite available for quite a while on 365 at 80s, so I'm hoping some got it as 80s. The channel only had it as 33s. So we had a place there, a place there, a place there, and a couple of non-runners. So coming out of that, it wasn't bad. It just wasn't great. So it's just slightly below par. And then we started off with these ones, and the 2 short ones got placed. The bigger ones didn't. So even at this point, I was thinking, well, we've got quite a bit going on them last 2 races. We'll see how it goes. And then we absolutely dire. So all 6 struck out, and that was the end of that. I commiserated by going and singing around the bandstand. So we had then no good here. Modern Games underperformed, as did Francesco Clementi. Highfield Princess got beaten by a better horse on the day, but ran with credit. In the Lucky 15, we had non-runner, no, basically. Saying that, some people will go, well, yes, that's what happens when you put big prices in, they just lose. Not all the time. Lucky 15, no, non-runner, place for Sky and 365, no. And then the combination double, we got the first two placed in that one, not that one, and then nothing. So that was no good. And then the ACCA was right disappointing, to be fair. No, non-runner, no, that one, that placed, no. So, yeah, that was rubbish. Last year at Ascot, we managed to get one place ACCA up. 2 days, it was one off, and one day it was two off, so no good. And then this extra bet, that was poor. That placed, I'm not sure if it placed for anyone other than Sky, but it placed. That was poor in the end, and we had a non-runner. So, all in all, not a very good day. That being said, it wasn't a complete washout. It wasn't like we lost the whole lot. We got back somewhere in the region of about 40% of our stakes, something like that. Okay, so day two. What we got day two? That's if you're still with me. It's up to you. This is the current place terms where to go. So 2:30, Sky is 6 places. Everyone else seems to be 5. The 3:05, Sky are 7. 365 are 6. Everybody else is 5. The 3:40 and the 4:20, that's consistent. 3 places and 2 places respectively. Then the 5 o'clock, which is the big race of the day from a value point of view, the Royal Hunt Cup. 8 on Sky, 7 on Paddy. 6 everywhere else pretty much. And then the 5:35, we've got, I haven't written that on there, I don't know why I've done that. 5:35, I think it's 4 places, Sky, 365, Paddy and Betfred are the best ones for that. And then the 6:10, which is 5 places, I think it's 5 places, Sky, Coral, 365, Ladbrokes. So if you're betting this in the morning, here you'll get Coral, 365, Ladbrokes will give you Bog. If you're betting that in the morning, 365, Paddy, Betfred, depending on where and when you put the bet on. So that just hopefully gives you a bit of a guide. Day 1, Sky was best, 365 was second. Day 2, it's a little bit different to that. Sky are best on 3 races as standout. But actually 365 are next best there, Paddy next best there, and obviously we've got combinations in here. So probably 365 is overall second best bookie, and then Paddy is third best bookie. Right, let me talk you through the plan, because I'm less keen on it. I was quite keen on day 1 to go very well, so I'm less keen on day 2, so maybe that means it will go well. I don't know. So starting off with singles, here we go. So 2:30. It's very difficult when you've got these 2-year-old races to really know what's what. So we're going Relief Rally 11-2, Got to Love a Grey at 9s, Launch at 50s. And bear in mind, reiterating this again, these are guide prices. I'm taking the SPs. This is the average kind of price at the time I made the video. But from anything on statistics, I'm taking SP prices for this week for Ascot. Then we've got the 3:05, Tarab, Indian Wish 16s, that's Tarab at 8s, Don't Tell Claire at 20s, Slime Madam at 66s, and then the 3:40, I've just got one in there, International Angel 22-1. So that is 8 lots of 50p each way singles. And then the 4:20, I'm just going one on the single market in there. I'm going to go Bay Bridge, £1.50 win single on Bay Bridge. So that's the first half of the singles. And then we've got the second half of the singles. Hopefully this is all nice and clear. 5 o'clock, that's the big race of the day from a value point of view. So I've got 5 and I've got high level singles on them. So Isla Kai at 50s, Great Gadian at 33s, Ouzo 33s, Orban 22s, Chasing Aphrodite 16s, 5 times 80 pence each way singles. And then we've got the 5:35, Circles of Fire 13-2, Hadrianos 18s. And then the 6:10, We've got Maximum Impact 7s, Sergeant Wilco 16s, Haller Emirati 50 to 1. 5 times 50p each way singles on those ones. I think it's 19 singles in total. I guess the thing before I go through the multiples as well is, although it wasn't a great day on day one, it's always a bit of a learning curve about what can you get out of it. So what did I learn from day one at Ascot? I learned that the water did get in the ground, because if you actually look at the horses that won, most of them, if not all of them, had some level of form that said they were all right with a bit of a cut in the ground, so that they'd done something on good to soft. The horses that were all about the firm ground, so you look at the performance of the Australian horse, American horses, nowhere near. So that ground, initially they were talking about it being still good to firm at some point in the straight, and then they kind of changed it later on. That had cut in it. I'd say that was good to soft ground. It was kicking up a little bit, but if you actually look at performance of the horses, I'd say the ground was good to soft, because the fast horses were really, really struggling. So the challenge you've then got is, what's that going to do into day two? Because into day two we've got dryness, so there's no more rain, but the water's still in the ground. So it depends how much it's going to dry out, and that depends on how much sun's out. The sun was not out fully most of today, and it's going to be a bit cloudy tomorrow. So I still think for day two, based on what I saw on day one, is I'm not wanting to go too near any horses that look like they want firmish ground. So good with a little bit of good to soft form is what we're looking at. What else did we learn on day one? We learned that if you went from the front, unless you were incredibly well handicapped like Vauban, you got beat. So any horse that went from the front, they all got beat. Some badly and some down a little bit. Generally what you found in most races, certainly the ones that were longer on the bend, horses in stalls 1 and 2 went from the front, and then they ultimately struggled to finish off the races. You didn't also have very much coming from the back. So if you were stuck at the back, you didn't really get round. But interestingly, any race that wasn't just on the straight bit, so the straights generally, it can be up to a mile. I think it can be up to a mile. But anything else that's on the bends, and some of the mile 7 furlong races are on the bend as well. So you have to watch whether it's a straight one or a bendy one. Anything on the bends, actually, the horses that fared quite well actually were often running quite wide on the bend. So there was clearly a little bit of better ground. So the closer to the rail, I think the ground was probably a little bit damper, where the water had got into it. So actually nearer the rail, I think the ground was not as good. So what you didn't want to do is get trapped in the rail. So you don't want to be up. You don't want to be up on the front. You don't want to be at the back. So you want to be just off, like just behind the leaders, and you wanted to be not on the rail. Basically, that's what you want to be looking at. So watch out, and we'll see if day two runs it like that too. In terms of draw bias, I didn't see loads of draw bias. I think generally in the sprints, I wouldn't want to be in the first what stalls 1, 2, or 3, maybe even 4. That would have to quite like it if it was 4. So I'd want to avoid those in those. But generally, there didn't seem to be a bias on the draw in the sprints. So no bias, just off the pace, not on the rail. That's basically what I learned. And it's courses with a bit of a cut in the ground. We'll see how day 2 goes, and then we'll have to see what we learn about from day 2 on to day 3, and also then watch the weather. Anyway, there we go. Hopefully that was useful, particularly if anyone's picking your own selections. But honestly, it's a bit late, and I thought I was hallucinating earlier. Literally, I was like, why is there a centipede on the kitchen table? There actually was a centipede on the kitchen table. I don't know where it came from. I don't know how it got in here, but there was a centipede on the kitchen table just as I was about to do the video. Anyway, enough of my life with David Attenborough. Right, so lucky 15. I've got one lucky 15 for day 2, just one. So I've got the 2:30. Got to Love a Grey at 9s. Then I've got 2 big uns in there. 3:05 Slime Madam at 66s. 5 o'clock Isla Kai at 50s. 6:10 Maximum Impact 7s. So two shorts and 2 bigs. We've gone for the lucky 15. I've then got a speculative big price double in the 2-year-old races. So the 2:30 we've got Launch at 50 to 1 and the 6:10 Haller Emirati at 50 to 1. That's a £1 bet. So it's 50p each way double. So that's 2 of the multiples, 6 multiples I think in total. That is 2 of them, so lucky 15, and we've got just a double going on for day 2. Then we've got 2 Trixies, a win and an each way. So win Trixies, a 75p win Trixie, £3 bet. We've got Jumbly in the 340 at 9 to 4. 420 we've got Luxembourg at 2 to 1, and the 535 Gregory at 13 to 8. Then we've got a 25p each way Trixies, that's each way doubles and trebles. This one's win only, doubles and trebles, this is each way. 340 International Angel at 22s, 5 o'clock Uzo at 33s, 535 Hadrianos at 18s. That's a £2 bet, so that's £5 in total on those 2 bets. And then penultimately, I've got a combination double bet. So we've got the 305 and the 5 o'clock, 3 in each. So it's 9 times 25p each way doubles. It's a £4.50 bet. We've got 305, Tarab at 8s, Indian Wish at 16s, and Don't Tell Claire at 20s. Going on to the 5 o'clock, Great Gadian at 33s, Orban at 22s, and Chasing Aphrodite at 16s. You put all 6 in the bet slip, it will give you, say, there's 9 combinations. That's £4.50 is your bet. And last but not least, 6-fold ACCA for day 2 is this. 230 Relief Rally at 11 to 2. 305 Don't Tell Claire at 20s. 340 Jumbly 9 to 4. 420 Luxembourg at 2 to 1. 5 o'clock Orban 22s. And 535 Gregory 13 to 8. Alright, that's the plan. That's the £40 plan. It's up to you. You can just follow it on a piece of paper and not put any money down if you want to. You can halve it, double it, however you choose to do it. That's £40 of real money from my betting account that I use for this channel that's gone down on there. That's the way I like to. It's nice and easy and transparent to record it like that, to have an account for the channel specifically. It doesn't get in the way of anything else I'm doing. So yeah, that is those. I know there's a few questions in the comments I haven't quite got to. I think somebody did ask me the other day, and I don't think I responded to that one actually yet. Why can't I just write all of the bets in the comments every day or in the description? To be honest, it's partly to do because I feel a responsibility when you're doing something like this and you're running these channels. I have a sense of responsibility to give a bit of explanation behind what I'm saying. So I want people to know whether it's risky or I really like it or I don't like it or I sort of like it a little bit, but people understand what they're getting in for. And likewise, to be honest, if I just shove them all in the comments all the time, then some people wouldn't even watch the video. So, what's the point of doing a video? I might as well just be on Twitter or something. I choose not to be on Twitter. I choose to be on a video. So yeah. So I appreciate that when I'm putting through lots of bets like this, some people have to stop and pause and write stuff down, or you might take screenshots, however you choose to do it. I appreciate that's how it takes a bit of time. But likewise, I made a deliberate choice when I set this up. I wanted to do a video-based channel, and so for a video-based channel, I'm not just going to put all of everything I say into a comment or a description, because it kind of would defeat the object of doing a video. So hopefully people appreciate that makes sense, and I appreciate some people would like it just nice and easy and just be able to do that and copy that. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm mean, and I make you actually watch a little bit of the video, even though those of you who actually just fast forward it and don't listen won't hear any of this, so you won't know that I'm talking about you. So yeah, that's that one. I think there was some other stuff, but it's late and I can't remember what they are now. So I am going to go to bed and hope that day 2 treats us better, and I'll be back on Wednesday night for Thursday selections for day 3, and I'll absolutely aim to get the video up a lot earlier than this one's been up. It's just because I've been out all day, and hopefully people can appreciate if you're out all day racing, you're not doing any research. Well, I am researching, I'm enjoying the racing, and I'm researching because I'm thinking about what's happening next day and thinking about what's happening on day 1 that's going to inform the selections on day 2. So I sort of am researching, but equally when you get home you've got to get my computer out and actually look at stuff properly. Alright, thus endeth the ramble of the night, and we'll see you tomorrow night. Thank you very much for the support. It is genuinely really, really appreciated. I love all the interaction that people have, overall, I guess I'm just just want to say I'm just a bit gutted about day one. Like, everybody gets it. You don't win every day. But I just like these things to start off well, at least, and it didn't. And so, I feel bad when I put stuff out and it doesn't win. And I know most people get that, and most people are very, very kind. But it is just a bit frustrating when that happens. But I think overall it was a struggle of a day for a lot of people. There was a couple of favourites, a couple of outsiders went in there, I think stringing winners together today would have been very, very difficult. I think you could absolutely have strung some nice places together, and come out with a little bit of a profit. But I was at the end of the races watching young lads celebrate the Vauban winning as if they'd won the lottery, and it's like it's an even money favourite. I don't know how much you put on, but you didn't win the lottery, and on some days the even money favourites win, don't they? That happened with Vauban today. It was only the two Aidan O'Brien ones that were the favourites, and the one in the Coventry as well. Anyway, I'm going. All right, I'll see you tomorrow night. Thank you very much. Bye bye.